Hey everyone, welcome back to the Dynamic Duo podcast. In today's episode, Anja and I will be talking about the importance of your environment in shaping your personal and professional growth. We explore how positive influences, effective leadership, and healthy team dynamics can transform your life. We also share some of our personal strategies for managing toxic environments and toxic people to ensure well being and success. Let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Dynamic Duo podcast. Anya, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Looking forward to our podcast. I enjoy doing our podcast. We are touching on subjects that are it's beautiful, really, in more than one sense and more than one level. Some people are writing comments, which we encourage everyone to do. Send us your comments, send us your thoughts, because we really love to hear from you. And every time when we talk, somehow new ideas popped up in our heads, and we already have a list of topics so long that it will take hours to no, not hours, but we do have a long list of topics for the future. So, what are we going to talk about today, Anya?
Well, we're going to talk about something we touched on last week. It's also we mentioned the 15 invaluable laws of growth, and it's also a law of this book. It's the law of environment, and we talked about accountability partners last week. You have the book there? Oh, perfect. That's how it looks. We can only recommend it. Yeah, we talked about accountability partners, and today we want to talk about the environment you're in and how it affects your growth. I think it's really important to know or to be aware of your environment. We also once talked about the garden. That just popped into my head. Not every plant grows in every area. So it's really important. It's not the plant that is in fault there. If you don't water it, if it's not in the right environment, it can't grow. And that's the same thing for people. If we're surrounded by people who tell us we're not good enough and we won't ever be anything, it's no wonder we don't grow. But if you surround yourself with encouraging people, with people who hold you accountable for your goals, who are loving and want to see you win, then you're growing. You're gonna get better, and you're gonna reach your goals, and you're gonna be consistent with everything. And you can how do you say that? You can make your environment. You don't have to stay in a bad environment. You can take mentors. You can choose to be surrounded by people who love you and who support you. And you can also choose what you listen to, what you read to. I think that's very important. Sometimes we underestimate the things we watch on TV, how it affects us. But you can actually choose the things that you put in your mind, and that will change a lot. What do you think about this topic?
Beginning with one of the last things you said right at the end, I remember from my school days, more than one teacher telling us that, which is like a very popular proverb, I guess, a very popular saying: "Garbage in, garbage out." And that was the saying, So
Yeah.
regarding of what am I looking at? What am I reading? What am I talking? Who am I hanging out with? And so on and so forth. So Yeah, I mean, we a lot of things are we are not responsible for in life,
Hmm.
but for that we are. How do we spend our time? With whom we
Yeah.
spend our time, right? What music am I listening to? Because even music, I'm a musician, quote unquote musician. But I guess this is popular knowledge, I guess, that the, there is popular music, not popular, positive music, music
Hmm.
that builds you up, music that inspire you, music that builds you up, right? And at the
Yeah.
same time, there are some beats, some tempos, some even the way you play certain instruments that could lead people to depression, that can
Mhm.
bomb you down, that can, like, and I guess everyone, I think you know what I'm talking about. There are music that just like, oh, puts you in a good mood somehow, right? So what am I listening to? What am I reading? What am I watching? And so on and so forth. So yeah, garbage in, garbage out. And at the same time, if we are putting good stuff into us, uh, hopefully that will make us stronger, that will build us up, and help us to reach the best version of ourselves. So that's one thought that came to my mind when I was listening to you. And then the other one, going back to the garden, uh, one other aspect to or teaching that we can get from the garden is that some plants, you cannot sow certain seeds or plants ne- uh, on the side of each other. They cannot be neighbors because they
Yeah.
will hinder their own growth, or maybe like they will attract certain kefas. What is kefas? Bugs,
Lots.
and things like that, right? So they are not good for each other. And I think sometimes that's the way it happens in life, in a team. What a responsibility for a leader, to be able to put the right people working with the right people.
Yeah.
Building a team is it's an art. You cannot
Yeah.
just randomly get people and say, like, okay, you all have a degree on economics or management or whatever. Like, okay, we have to do this. But no, I mean, character, background, work style, and things. A lot of factors had to be taken into account. So I'm thinking about that. No wonder sometimes projects fail, and goals are
Yeah.
not met well. But they are smart. Yeah, okay, but maybe they don't work well together. So
Yeah.
so yeah, those are the thoughts that came to my mind when I was listening to you.
Yeah, that's very true. So important. The right people in the right team. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
Mm-hmm.
How do you create your environment so you are able to grow?
Well, it goes from beginning with my surroundings, my immediate surroundings. I mean, I guess uh, i'm not uh, I'm not a person of luxury in that sense. I mean, I appreciate luxury and art and beautiful things, of course, but I like simplicity around me, and I like order. If even if in a minimalistic environment, if things are out of control, if things
Mhm.
are not in order, it affects me. Yeah, it affects me. Big deal. It's a big deal. So because I'm like very structured in that sense, in my head. Maybe I'm sick. I don't know. Maybe that's not okay. But but I'm like very structured in that sense, right? So if things are out of control around me, it affects me somehow. I'm not sick. I don't think. I hope I'm not sick. Maybe a psychologist or a psychiatrist watching right now are probably going to come up with a diagnosis and say, like, "Oh, Armando, you're sick." I don't know. No, but that. So what I'm what I was going to say is that I try to arrange my surrounding in such a way that I have my inner peace.
Yeah.
right? So
Mm,
I just like to, things be more or less in place. For example, alone, just that's a huge help. But if we extrapolate, or if we go to the other aspect of my my surroundings, or what affects me, uh, people, of course,
mm,
I try. Now it's easier. Before it wasn't that easy. I try to cope. I try to always be agreeable, and just go along, and just don't rock the boat. Be nice. And no, but now I don't do that anymore. Meaning, if I discover, if I know I cannot work with this person, if it's bringing more chaos into my life, too much negativity into my life, I try to make, to keep my distance.
mm.
And if I don't have to cooperate with this person, if I don't have to work with this person, then I just keep even bigger distance, right? Because life is short, and it's, I don't want to waste time and energy, mental energy, and to be exposed to toxic. I guess that's a very popular saying right now, toxic people. So I don't want to be toxic, but I also don't want to be around toxic people.
Yeah,
What
it's
about
funny.
you?
When you talked about the order and chaos, um, I thought about it, and I do feel like that too. And I always say that if my apartment is a chaos, and
Mm,
that's like, then I know I'm not at peace, and I know something's not going too well. I'm like stressed or something, so that's why the chaos came, and the chaos makes me even more stressed.
right,
So
right.
yeah, so that's, yeah, that
Maybe
I
we
always.
are sick, Anya. Maybe we are sick. I don't know. No, I think
Yeah.
that's positive. I, I hope that's positive.
I mean, it's good if chaos, if at least some kind of chaos, like not having a tidy home or
Mm.
something like that, makes you a little bit. If you want to change that, I think that's a good thing.
You know what? But really, I've learned over the last few years to relax a little bit. That's also true, but because I think at one point in my life I was very very strict, and almost to psychosis. No, but really, but I just noted, like, no, it relaxed a little bit. I mean, it's good, but I hope I found a good you know, middle point, that everyone is happy around me also, because I don't live alone, my kids, my wife, right? So um, that's also important, to know where the line is. But there was
Yeah.
one point in my life where it was a little bit too much.
Yeah, I also think, when it comes to environments, it's also, for me, it's also very important where I work, or
Mm,
that's also something. Sometimes there are things I can't do. I can't work at home, so I go somewhere to a co-working space or to a coffee shop. So I work there, and I'm surrounded, or I'm in a different environment,
mm,
so I can focus better. I
yeah.
think that's also a point to think about. Sometimes maybe you need to find places where you can learn, or you can
Yes.
do things better than at home, or where you've done it before.
Mm. And if this is something that I experienced a few times in my life, but very strongly, I can think of two times where um, I just wasn't able to work with my chef, for example, my boss. and
Mhm,
and before, I mean, and I agree, it's true, not everyone have that luxury, or is that risk, um, prepared to take such risk, right? To like, oh, now I'm gonna quit. I'm just gonna find something else. I know that, and but in my case, I identified early enough. I think if I stay here, it's just going to explode someday, and it's not
Mhm.
gonna be good. It's not for anyone, you know.
Yeah.
And so I think I need to. I always try to get out. That's like a saying, you know, not through the back doors. I try to always go with my being able to look in the eye and okay, we part ways, and that's fine. No hard feelings, no ill feelings, uh, or anything like that, right? So when I identify that, I try to plan. I try to prepare myself. I try to find options because I know that harmony is important for me,
Mhm.
to be professional, and of course I'm not that snowflake you know, everything I will get offended with everything. That's not what I'm talking about. It's just incompatibilities that I discover
Mhm.
early enough. So I try to find an out strategy, because I want to be able to work creative and free and productive whatever I am. So to that extreme, I'll go sometimes. You know, it's
Mhm.
important to work with the people around me. Mm,
Yeah. Yeah. And I think a boss has a really big effect on you or on people, like, because I think that's also why leadership is also a topic I'm very passionate about, because if someone if a leader is insecure or whatever, it's just, it can have a really bad effect on their employees, and that's so sad to see and to realize how also growth goes down when people, when it doesn't match and doesn't work together. It's not even like, I don't want to blame anyone or anything,
mm,
but sometimes just, as you said, you can't work with that person together, and maybe they don't see the potential in you, and so they don't know how to lift you up and how to help you get better, and that means that you won't get better probably, and it won't bring the fruits that both of you want to see, and
mm,
that could have an effect on you as a person, and that's very sad to experience, and that's why it's sometimes important to leave and to find someone who sees the potential in you and knows how to get it out and how to help
exactly.
you grow and water that little seed that was planted in you.
Mm. And where you can also add to value to that group, to that company, or
Yeah.
to that person or team, because it's a symbiosis. I mean, we a synergy. We build each other up, you know.
Mhm.
And you said it very well. It's a huge responsibility being a leader,
Mhm.
and but and a lot of leaders, you know, they are managers actually. They manage things, which is very different. But they mistake that for being leaders, right? And
Mhm.
they just boss people around, or I mean, I know of people that get sick. I mean, they get literally sick Sundays, before going to work on Monday,
Yeah. Yeah.
because of the boss that they have. And I mean, that's just not right. I mean,
Yeah.
if but sometimes, you know, like I said, sometimes you do have the luxury, quote unquote, to be able to quit and look for something else. And some people do not have that opportunity. I always advise, if you are at that stage, you know, think ahead of time, plan ahead of time. Just don't quit just like that. You know, you know, find something else, something secure that you can, because of course your well-being and your family is of course priority. But yeah. I think no one, like John Maxwell said, everyone deserves to be led well.
Mm,
And so we encourage leaders, be good leaders, please.
yes. Yeah. Don't ruin your people. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's really important with a lot of things. Sometimes you can't just, I mean, you can't choose your family. You
Right.
can't uh, you're born into the family that you're born in, and maybe those are people that you would rather not be
Mm,
around too much, and you can't change that, but you can change how often you or how much access you give to people who are bringing you down.
mm,
And I think that's important. Or then surround yourself with a lot of positive people
mm,
that help you and that tell you, no, you're amazing, you're valuable, you're
mm,
loved. So you hear that, and I think that's so important to have those people around you.
mm.
And yeah, maybe you can't, or there are people who around you that you can't just get rid of, like
Yeah, right,
just
right.
walk away from, that aren't too good for your growth. But then find people who are good for your mental health, find people who are good for your growth, find people who love you, support you, um, and find books and podcasts and
Mm,
watch movies that are good for you. Just surround yourself with those. And if you have the chance, like leaving a job that isn't good for you, then
mm.
do it. But as you said, like plan ahead. Don't
Plan,
just
plan
quit.
ahead. Just don't quit. That's not good.
Maybe look for a new job before you quit.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
my advice, really. I mean, if you're not happy, why stay there? You're not married to that company, or you're not married to the boss or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think your health, your mental health, your family is important. So think ahead of time, plan ahead of time, and make that transition smoothly, if necessary,
Yeah.
if possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think I just recently talked to someone, and we talked about not being happy at the place where you work. And I told this person too, like it's a lot of your day. If you're 8.5 hours there, also with lunch it's probably 9 hours
Mm,
of your day, 5 days a week. That has an effect on you.
of
if
course.
you if you feel bad 9 hours per day, 5 days a week,
Mm,
this is not going to be good to you.
mm,
That's not going to help you in any way.
mm,
So it's a really big portion of your day. So it, it's
mm.
it's good if it's good, but it
Yeah,
can be really bad if it's
it can
bad.
be really bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we in normal circumstances, people spend more time with their coworkers than with their own family in the week.
Yeah, exactly.
Because when they get home, it's already evening. They probably watch a movie or eat something, take care of things, that necessary things, and then that's it. In bed and get up early and then go back to work.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, your environment, your work environment is important.
Yeah, very important.
Mm.
Very
But
important.
how do you compensate? I don't know if I'm going in other direction. Is there ways to compensate? I mean, if we are in unavoidable situations with toxic people or work environment or maybe school. I mean, that's another situation. You cannot just quit school. You well, I don't know, but what? How can we compensate that?
That's an interesting question. I think I would say with people who love you,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, surround yourself with more people who are good for your health than people who aren't.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think it's also important that you guard your heart and your thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
because it's really easy that if people aren't good for you, don't believe in you, don't think you're good enough, that you start to believe those things because you hear them or you feel them too often. So I think it's really important to be aware of that and be aware of your own thoughts
Mhm.
about yourself, that you give some counter, I don't know how to say that, to
Yeah, like yeah, like balance, bring balance to the whole to the situation, right?
yeah, and don't start to believe what they tell you about you. I think that's very important. Um,
It's so important, actually, very, very important, because um, repetition and if we are in an environment where that's the culture, the communication culture, the way people talk to each other, and so on and so forth, um, it will get to you eventually somehow.
mm,
So we have to be very conscious. You're very right. I mean, just like very, very conscious about it. And I remember a few, yeah, a few years ago, um, I experienced a situation where with gossip, people were
mhm,
gossip, and that's also very toxic, very, very bad. Just talking behind people's back, and and that will destroy anything. That will destroy any family. That will destroy any group of friends. Gossip. And so one way of fixing that is with that person that is listening to the gossip. Because when we listen to something people are saying, something toxic, um, then we are promoting gossip. It's like pouring fuel on the
mm,
fire, right? But if we say, like, hold on, am I supposed to listen to that? I mean, is it is something that you are free to share with me, for example, or does this person know that you're talking to me about this? Things like that. That usually will stop the person on the tracks. It will confront the person with their own motivation. Why am I saying this? Why am I spreading this rumor or this news or whatever, right? And usually people stop. It's like, well, oh,
mm.
yeah, okay. Or they notice, okay, with you I cannot do that.
I can do this. Yeah.
Right. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes we have to be clear. That's
Mm,
just an example of many situations. But just thinking about gossip, sometimes we have to say, like, well, you know what? I don't want to. I don't want to listen to that, or please don't talk to me
mhm,
that way.
mhm,
We have to be vocal about that and just make clear in our environment. I don't want to participate in this kind of talk. I don't want to participate in this kind of communication style, and hopefully
mhm.
people will respect that, and for your own well-being, because you don't want to. I use an analogy. Imagine your head is your living room, right? And people come to visit and just dump a bag of garbage.
Yeah.
Well, it was seeing you. It was good seeing you. It was talking to you. Talk to you next week. But they leave the garbage in that. Well, hold
Yeah.
on, why? Well, that's what happened when we allow people just to come and dump their negativity and toxicity and whatever.
Yeah.
But then that's a responsibility. We have to stop. No, hold on. I don't want to listen to that. Please don't talk to me that way or whatever. I don't know.
Mhm.
What do you think?
Yeah, know your own boundaries, but also maybe you can help that person switch their mindset too.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
not just think negatively, but also maybe you can help them figure out how they can think about something positively, and then you're both better.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's easier
Yeah,
said
I
than
think that's
done, but
it is. Yeah. I mean, this is really hard. We're talking about a really hard topic today.
it was your idea. Eh?
I know. I thought it's going to be an easy one, but it's not.
But it's not. Well, no, I think. I mean, It's real. I mean, this is something everyone experienced
Yeah,
in their circle of friends, family, co-workers. It's very real. And
yeah,
might be, hopefully we're adding some value
yeah.
to our viewers.
Hopefully, yes. And sometimes I think sometimes we have to be aware that we might be the one dumping the garbage somewhere else.
Exactly.
And that's also important to realize, like, I'm not being good environment right now. I'm just gossiping and talking badly about everything, and then figure out how can I switch that? How can I start being more positive? I think that's really,
Yeah. I mean, I know this is a cliche. I mean, it's very words are cheap, tech is cheap, but the maxim goes like this, if you don't have anything good to say, if you don't have anything of value to add, then shut up. Don't say anything. Uh, you know, because really, I mean, if you are not building the people in front of you, if you are not adding value, then why are you talking? Really? Or and
yeah.
I don't know,
Well, sometimes you
maybe
have
still,
to.
go ahead, go ahead.
Sometimes you have to, how can I say this? Share also bad experiences, but it depends on how you do it. And yeah, I think it's important that we don't. Sometimes we excuse ourselves to, or at least I do sometimes, excuse myself to talk badly about something or something that happened. Um, and I feel like I'm doing like therapy work. Like I
Right,
have
right.
to get it out,
Get it out.
but
Yeah.
there's ways, and you don't have to keep repeating the bad stuff. Like get
But
it out and
mm, and I think you're right. I think, but again, going back to being to accountability, with whom you do it. That's
yeah,
important thing. And because
yes.
I think if you are like going to repeating the same thing to, for example, in a work environment, you go to the secretary and then you go to your colleague and then you go to the janitor and wait, hold on, what is the motivation? That's a different motivation, right? Uh,
Yes.
I suppose as maybe you have someone you trust and you want to get it out, you know.
Yeah.
And then the other thing regarding motivation is like, why am I saying this? What do I want to achieve with this? Do I want to make this person look bad? Do I
Mhm.
want to favor, they want them to favor me instead of favoring them or him or she?
Mhm.
So I think reflecting on our motivation, why am I saying this? What do I
Yeah.
want to share this? Because sometimes I think there is place for that, to get it out, to talk to someone you trust, but not with everyone. I guess not with the janitor, the secretary. No, uh, because we create a culture. That's the kind of culture we create. Because
Yeah.
we're like, well,
That's true.
if he's doing it or she's doing it, then I guess it's okay to do it. And then the other thing, if they know you are doing it, if talking about this other person, is Armando talking about me too?
Yeah.
So we create a culture of distrust
Mhm.
and gossip and whatnot. So, yeah, that, that's an Anja. What kind of a topic do you choose today? But that's a good
Well,
one. That's a good one.
yeah, I mean, it's an important one because it affects us, all of us. So,
Mm,
but you can create a beautiful garden. I still believe that.
yes.
Like a beautiful environment that makes you grow, you can create that. So, are we already coming to the end? Or,
Maybe we should end with that. And I suppose what to avoid and which is
yeah,
it's part of the whole thing. Maybe like okay, how can we promote a good environment?
yeah. Well, my suggestion is find people. We're in a very good place nowadays with all the possibilities we have, with all the access we have to people, to books, to podcasts, YouTube, everything. You can it's easier now than ever to create a good environment, and it's also at the same time harder probably now than ever, because a lot of people try to dump their opinion on you on the internet and everywhere, and be really aware of what you consume. Also with social media, I think that's so important that you that you're aware of what you're looking at in social media, because that's what you're gonna see more of. That's how the algorithm works. They're showing you more of what you want, of what you consume.
Right.
So consume good things.
Right.
Follow people who build you up, who tell you you are valuable and beautiful and amazing. And if you realize that something isn't good for you, then unfollow that account. And also surround yourself with people, like listen to people who build you up, who tell you good things. Listen to happy music. Yeah,
Right. Right.
those are things. Read books that are good for you.
I have one that I think should be also part of the recipe. Our own recipe is treat others the way you want to be treated.
So
You know,
the
just
goal.
the golden rule. You know, if I think if we do that, I think that's it. You know, just like
Yeah,
you don't want people to talk about you, don't talk about other people. Or if you want to be built up, build others up. You know, have something nice to say. You know,
yeah,
give good advice, give a good word. Just be the kind of person that you want others to be. You know, be nice, be loving, be encouraging. And I think if we do that, we are on a good track.
yeah, definitely. So yeah, thanks for listening in, and find things that are good for you. Encourage us, leave book, podcasts, or other recommendations in the comments so other people can see it and learn from you too. And we will see you next week.
Talk to you soon. Bye.